Welcome back, FearLyss crafters. Let's do some string art today. But first, coffee. That's right, today we're gonna make coffee cup string art. Alright guys, we're gonna make coffee cup string art today, so grab your favorite cup of coffee, your favorite cup of tea. I don't know, if you want to drink orange juice, grab that. But let's go ahead and get started making some coffee cup string art. Alright guys, let's get started. I have an 8-inch by 11-inch board that I've painted black with Master's Touch acrylic paint. I watered it down for easier coverage of the board. I've also already marked where I want my nails to go. I do this by tacking around my template with one nail. This prevents the paper from getting stuck underneath the nails and minimizing the use of tweezers afterwards. Then I remove the template and start nailing. I'm using Everbuilt stainless steel wire nails. They're 18 gauge and 3/4 inch in length. I'm working from my right to left, my top to bottom, to avoid snagging my hands on any of the nails, because it doesn't feel that great. I use pliers to hold the nails because it's easier to stabilize them throughout this part of creating the string art. You'll also notice that I use the pliers to help straighten out any nails that didn't quite go in straight enough. I'm going to continue working along this side of the cup, making sure the nails are roughly the same height and the same angle when they go in. Again, using the pliers and even the hammer to make sure that they are getting to the proper place. Once I've finished this side of the cup, I'm going to start going along down the bottom. Now before I continue along the other side of the cup, I want to do the circular emblem in the middle. So I'm going to start again on my right side, making sure that the nails are the right height, and as you can see, one of them went in too far. So I just take the pliers and pull it right out and hammer it right back in, making sure it is the right height and angle. And I'm just going to continue around the rest of the circle. So guys, my go-to hot beverage is the Starbucks matcha green tea latte. Some people say it tastes like grass. I think it tastes like pure happiness. What's your go-to hot beverage? Message me down in the comments and let me know. nailed it. Good job, everyone. Now you've nailed your string art. Now let's string our string art. So I pick a nail and I tie a knot around that nail. Now for this project, I'm going to start around the bottom of the cup and string it up the right side first, creating the border of the outside wall. I'm using gray crochet thread for the cup. This is a size 8 crochet thread, which is thicker than a size 10, but not as thick as a size 5. But we'll chat about sizing in another video. Now that I've done the outside border of the cup, I'm going to start filling the interior of the cup, moving side to side horizontally all the way up. This is going to help fill in the color of the cup using the least amount of thread possible. Oh, and there we go, it pops off. You want to make sure that you keep a lot of tension on the thread, but not so much that it actually tears, because I've done that before. Not fun. So now that I'm at the, I'm gonna keep going. Never mind. See, I didn't like how that was looking, so you can always go back and take string off and redo your pattern when you are stringing so that you're happy with the final product. What I'm doing here with the string, now that I'm on the other side of the cup, is I'm making sure that the angle of the string from the center circle to the outside corner of the cup is relatively the same as it is on the left side of the cup. It's not going to be exact, but I'm trying to get it as best as I can. Now that I have at least one layer filling in the cup, I'm going to go ahead and go around the outside border of the circular emblem in the middle. This is just going to help solidify where that circle is for when we put an additional color on top of it later. So now I'm just going to finish out the cup and we'll keep on going. So I've completed filling in my cup, and what I've noticed is that there's some big gaps along the outside border of my cup. So what I'm going to do is a zigzag feature where I'm going to go from one nail up to the left to the next nail, and then up to the right and the next nail. So here's a picture of what that looks like when it's all completed. This just helps to kind of fill in those gaps. This is a totally personal preference. It also adds a little bit more oomph to the border of the cup itself. Now we're going to work on the lid of the cup. I'm using white crochet thread for the cup lid. This is in the same size 8 as the gray. It's also going to be the same size for the blue that we're going to do the emblem in. You can tell right now that there's a line of nails throughout the middle of the lid of the cup. Right now I'm going to ignore those. Those will come into play later. So just try to, when you're stringing from the top part of the lid to the bottom part of the lid, make sure that it gets underneath the head of the nails that are running across the middle so that you don't run into it later. So it was at this point that I heard my camera shut off mid-filming, so I just wanted to show you what I do if I need to take a break. So I just wrap the string around a random nail and then tuck the extra string underneath the board to hold it in place. So let's say you have to go to the bathroom, you have to take a phone call. It's an option for you to stop where you're at without having to tie it off or trying to figure out how you're going to quickly get back to your starting point. So now I'm just going to finish the rest of the lid of the cup, and then I'm going to string the little steam waves, if you will, and we'll move on from there. I decided at this point that I wanted to glue the ends that I've already completed. This was mostly to give my fingers a break from stringing. You can do this after each tie off if you want to. You can wait until the very end to do them all. This is just where I felt I needed to do it. So I'm making sure that I just put a little spot of glue on my finger and then kind of rub it on where I cut off the ends of the strings at the various points that I started. Alright guys, here we are in the home stretch. We're now going to do the circular emblem. You can do this in any color you want, as you can the entire string art project. I picked blue because it's my favorite color and it is in my logo. I will say that this part of the cup is a little bit more difficult because you're dealing with a couple of layers of thread already. With that being said, the circle lends itself to many patterns that you can do with the string. So you can go horizontally, you can go vertically, you can go diagonally, and it's actually going to get covered really quickly, which is nice. there you have it, guys. There's our coffee cup string art. If you have any questions or you need any extra tips or you have tips you want to give me, go ahead and comment on the video. Also give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.